Matt drove his pickup under the arch, proclaiming Diamond Harte Ranch, choice sementals, and quarter horses, with a carved version of the brand that had belonged to the Harte family for 4 generations. He paused for just a moment, like he always did, to savor the view before him. The rolling sage-covered hills, the neat row of fence line stretching out as far as the eye could see, the barns and outbuildings with their vivid red paint contrasting so boldly with the snow. And standing guard over it all, at the end of the long gravel drive, was the weathered log and stone house his grandfather had built, with the sprawling addition he had helped his father construct the year he turned 12. Home. He loved it fiercely. From the birthing sheds to the maze of pens to the row of Douglas fir lining the drive. He knew every single inch of its 20,000 acres, as well as the names and bloodlines of each of the 36 cutting horses on the ranch, and the medical history of all 600 of the ranch's cattle. Maybe he loved it too much. Reverend Whitaker's sermon last week had been a fiery diatribe on the sin of excess pride, the warning in Proverbs about how pride goeth before destruction. Matt had squirmed in the hard pew for a minute, then decided the Lord would forgive him for it, especially if he could look down through the clouds and see the Diamond Harte like Matt saw it, as close to heaven as any place else on earth. Besides, didn't the Bible also say the sleep of a laboring man was sweet? His father's favorite scripture had been in Genesis, something about how a man should eat bread only by the sweat of his face. Well, he'd worked plenty hard for the Diamond Harte. He'd poured every last ounce of his sweat into the ranch since he was 22 years old, into taking the legacy his parents had left their 3 children so suddenly and prematurely, and building it into the powerful ranch it had become. He had given up everything for the ranch, all his time and energy. The college degree in ag economy he was 16 credits away from earning when his parents had died in that rollover accident. Even his wife, who had hated the ranch with a passion and had begged him to leave every day of their miserable marriage. Melanie, the woman he had loved with a quicksilver passion that had turned just as quickly to bitter, ferocious hate. His wife, who had cheated on him and lied to him and eventually left him when Lucy wasn't even 3 months old. She'd been a city girl, too, fascinated by silly romantic dreams of the West. The reality of living on a ranch wasn't romantic at all, as Melanie had discovered all too soon. It was hard work and merciless weather. Cattle that didn't always smell so great, a cash flow that was never dependable, flies in the summer and snowstorms in the winter that could trap you for days. Melanie had never even made an effort to belong. She had been lost, he could see that now, bitterly unhappy and desperate for something she could never find. She thought he should have sold the ranch, pocketed the $5 or $6 million it was probably worth, and taken her somewhere a whole lot more glitzy than Salt River, Wyoming. And when he refused to give in to her constant pleading, she had made his life hell. What was this thing he had for women who didn't belong out here? He thought of his fascination with the California vet. It wasn't attraction. He refused to call it attraction. She was just different from what he was used to, that's all. Annoying, opinionated, argumentative. That's the only reason his pulse rate jumped whenever she was around. A particularly strong gust of wind blew out of the canyon suddenly, rattling the pickup. He sent a quick look at the digital clock on the sleek dashboard, grateful for the distraction from thoughts of a woman he had no business thinking about. Almost 6. Cassie would have dinner on soon, and then